The first trimester. It is no secret that the first trimester of pregnancy is really tough. And I've done 2 of them now, so I'm currently 12 weeks pregnant with baby number 2. And I've found there have been some things that have helped me along the way. I've also really enjoyed watching videos like this when I've been going through the first trimester, so I thought I would make my own. So this video is going to be a first trimester survival guide, tips and tricks that I have learned on both of my pregnancies that have helped me survive the first trimester. If you clicked onto this video, it's probably because you are pregnant. Congratulations if you are. Or maybe you are planning to be pregnant and you're just sort of prepping and getting some ideas of how you can make it through the first trimester when the day finally comes that you get that positive test. If you are new to my channel, please do hit that subscribe button because I like to share all things pregnancy, motherhood, fitness and more. So let's jump straight into it. Tip number 1 will be increase your fibre intake. You may or may not know that constipation is quite a common symptom of pregnancy in the early stages, and increasing your fibre intake can really help with that. So you want to try and fill your diet with colourful foods, anything that's got lots of colour, so lots of fruit, lots of vegetables. Try and eat the skin on fruits and vegetables as well because they contain the most fibre usually. Things like dates also help to keep things going, and if you don't like a lot of fruit and veg or dates, smoothies are such a good way to get a load of things into you without actually physically eating them, and I find that smoothies are just an absolute lifesaver when you're struggling to eat as well. Tip number 2 is going to be to choose a friend. Someone you trust, a friend, a close family member, someone that you can tell about your pregnancy that obviously isn't your partner, because I find that having someone you can talk to about how you're feeling is really helpful, especially if they have been pregnant themselves. It can be really reassuring to speak to somebody and they can say, oh yeah, I had that, or yeah, that does get better, or do you know what I mean? Most people decide not to tell anybody about their pregnancy until they reach the 12-week mark, and 12 weeks when you are feeling rubbish is a really long time. So by choosing one friend you can talk to, confide in, can really help the process. And sometimes having someone that isn't your partner can also be really helpful, and it definitely helps me when I can talk to people about things, so it may be something to consider. Tip number 3 is going to be to add ginger into your diet. Now, it's no secret that morning sickness is a very common symptom in pregnancy, and we know that it's not just in the morning either. Morning sickness can strike at any time of the day, and some women feel nauseous all day long actually. But ginger is one of the things that I found really helps with the sickness and like the feeling of being sick. Even if you're not actually sick, you can just have that feeling there all the time. And I found ginger to be really helpful for that. So you can either put it in tea, so with hot water, and make it into a tea. You can chew on bits of ginger if that's your thing. You can buy crystallized ginger if you like got more of a sweet tooth, that can make it easier to eat. Ginger drinks, ginger chewing gum, ginger biscuits. You can also put it into smoothies. Again, another vote for smoothies and why they're so good in pregnancy, because you wouldn't even notice it. You can also get prenatal vitamins now that have ginger in them, so that may be something to consider as well. Tip number 4 would be to keep eating little and often. Just keep grazing throughout the day. Do not let yourself get hungry, because eating little and often can really help with the nausea. You may find yourself feeling so hungry that you feel sick, but because you feel so sick you don't want to eat anything. But I promise you, if you do eat something, that can really help with the nausea. You feel much worse on an empty stomach, trust me. We usually crave and reach for easy things to eat, like carbs, like especially refined carbs like biscuits and crisps and things like that. But protein is going to be the thing that helps the nausea the most. So anything like meat or cheese, anything that's high in protein, try and aim for things like that rather than the biscuits. Tip number 5 is going to be to time your prenatal. So you should be taking a prenatal vitamin, and sometimes taking that on an empty stomach can definitely make you feel sick. So there are a couple of things that you can do. You can either obviously have something to eat before you take it, but if you find that taking it even not on an empty stomach makes you feel sick, then taking it before bed can be an option. So you just take it before bed and go to sleep, and then hopefully you'll sleep all night and you won't notice that you feel sick. Or sometimes it's a good idea to break that prenatal vitamin in half and have half in the morning and then have half in the afternoon or half before you go to bed, just so you're not taking the whole thing in one go, and that can also help if it makes you feel sick. Tip number 6 would be to invest in a comfortable bra. Tender boobs is another very common symptom in pregnancy, and it often is one of the earlier signs of pregnancy as well. Investing in a decent bra will be an absolute lifesaver. Something that is supportive but not restrictive, something that is also going to grow with you throughout your pregnancy, because as pregnancy progresses your boobs do get bigger and bigger, and then into the postnatal period as well. Your boobs get bigger if you do decide to breastfeed and your milk comes in, so having something that you can take into the postnatal period as well is going to be really, really worth the money that you put into it. Now, I do have a recommendation for you. I absolutely live in Natal Active sports bras. Even if I'm not training, I do wear them. I've got a couple here to show you. So this is the lilac colour, and I absolutely love this colour. They are honestly so soft. It is unbelievable. They also have these clips here, so if you do decide to breastfeed, they are amazing for it. So you literally just unclip here, and then there's just a little hole here where the boob can come through. Honestly, I absolutely live in these. All the bras also come with an extender, so as your boobs do grow, if it does feel a little bit tighter, you can add this on to the back of the bra, and it will make it a little bit bigger for you, so you've got more room there, so it never gets restrictive. Another thing that I love about them is that the straps are quite thick, so they don't dig in or anything like that. They're really, really comfortable. They also do the loveliest colours. So this is the lilac sorbet, which is probably my favourite. They also do the very berry colour, which again is such a nice, bright and vibrant colour. I've got a black one, but it's in the wash at the moment. They do white, they do blue, they do hot pink. They do some really, really lovely colours, and they also accommodate for very, very large breasts. So if you are someone with a very large bust size, they do accommodate for that as well, and I believe they go up to a J cup. But also, if you are an exerciser, I also highly recommend their maternity leggings. They're not only good for pregnancy and supporting the bump, but they're also fantastic for postnatal. I didn't actually get mine until after I had a Lula, so I'm really looking forward to wearing them through pregnancy, but I lived in them after I had a Lula because I found they were really supportive around the belly when you just want that extra little bit of compression when you feel like everything's just a little bit loose and saggy after having a baby. And the best thing about the leggings as well is they have quite a low seam, so if you did have a C-section, the seam there is not going to irritate the scar site or anything like that. I am a brand ambassador for Natal Active, so I do have a little discount code for you if you would like to purchase yourself either one of the sports bras or the leggings. They also do hoodies, nursing hoodies, tops, just absolutely amazing clothing range. Like I said, even if you're not really into fitness, the leggings, they do just plain black, which you can just wear under anything, and they are just so nice for both pregnancy and postnatal. So if you are interested, I'll pop a little discount code on the screen. I'll also pop it in the description below, and I'll also pop in an affiliate link that you can use too. Tip number 7 is going to be exercise. I know it's exhausting growing a human, and it sounds counterproductive to use energy when you don't feel like you have much energy, but exercising can actually really help improve your nausea, your energy levels, your mood, blood pressure. It's really, really good for the baby and you, and it is safe to start if you've never exercised before, if you start slowly, as long as you have no contraindications to exercise, and always check with your medical professional before starting anything new. The general guideline is that it's okay to continue with anything you were doing before you got pregnant, if you were working out before pregnancy, as long as that's not anything that's in really hot temperatures or anything like scuba diving or anything where you could obviously bump the bump. You also want to make sure that you do lower the intensity slightly, so you can use something called the talk test. So you should be able to have a conversation with the person next to you while you are exercising. If you feel like you are exercising so hard that you're breathless and you wouldn't be able to speak, that's a sign that you may be doing a little bit too much in pregnancy. If you're into strength training and weightlifting like I am, then you shouldn't be lifting your max. You want to keep the effort about a 7 or 8 out of 10 and no more than that, and that is if you are experienced. You may want to start a little bit lighter than that if you are starting exercise for the first time. But honestly, the most important thing is that you are doing something that you enjoy. So whether that's swimming, walking, dancing, whatever it is, whatever you enjoy is going to be the thing that you want to do. So find something that you enjoy and try and stick with it, and I promise it will really, really help you get through your pregnancy. Obviously though, if you are extremely nauseous and you are actually being sick, it's not wise for you to exercise if you are not able to physically keep calories in. You don't want to be expending calories out. So If you're being really, really sick and you're very, very fatigued, it may not be a good idea to exercise, but when you get into the second trimester, you may find that you feel a lot better, you have more energy, so it may be a good idea to start then instead. Also, do not exercise if you experience any pain, any leaking, any bleeding, or any other warning signs. That goes without saying though, right? So tip number 8, on the other side to tip number 7, would be to rest. Rest as much as you can. If this is your second or third pregnancy, I know, believe me, I know, that is easier said than done. If you have a toddler or 2 toddlers or however many children you already have running around, that is easier said than done. But do not be afraid to ask other people for help and put your feet up when you can. If it's not possible to nap in the day, try going to bed a little bit earlier. If your toddler doesn't sleep through the night like mine, definitely go to bed earlier and prioritize sleep as much as you can, because your body is doing so much in these first 12 weeks. You're not only building a baby, you're building the placenta. And there are so many changes that are happening inside. Even if they're not visible on the outside just yet, there are so many changes that are happening inside, and your body really does need that rest. Tip number 9 is to stay hydrated. Now, you can tell if you're hydrated or not by the colour of your pee. Sounds gross, I know, but the darker your pee is, the less hydrated you are. So you want your pee to almost be transparent and like clear. That's a really good sign that you are really hydrated. Staying hydrated will really help when you're feeling lethargic and struggling with energy. If you do struggle to drink water, there are some tips that I have for you, and that would be to invest in a really good water bottle. I actually got the one that's going around on TikTok, the 99p water bottle. It's a massive 2-litre water bottle with a straw, but it's got the times of the days and like a little guide for where you should be at depending on the time of the day. And I found that that's really helped me to drink more water, because that was something I was struggling with. But yeah, having a nice new water bottle can sometimes just, the novelty of it can make you drink more water. So I definitely think that's a really good tip. Also, if plain water isn't your thing, try flavouring it with cucumber or fruit or ginger. Another good vote for ginger there for the nausea. Drinking lots of water and staying hydrated can also help with headaches if you do suffer with headaches in pregnancy. I know that some women do. Tip number 10 would be, do not stress about any weight gain or weight loss. Your midwife will let you know if there is a problem. If you are a healthy weight, there isn't actually much reason for you to weigh yourself or to be weighed at midwife appointments. So you don't actually have to. If they ask to weigh you and you're not comfortable, or you don't want to see what your weight is, then you could always stand on the scale backwards, or you could just ask them not to do it unless there is an actual medical need for them to weigh you. With my first pregnancy with a Lula, I put on a lot of weight real quick. In the first trimester, I put on a lot of weight, and that for me was mentally quite tough, because I was always used to being really fit and really watching my weight and that kind of thing. And yeah, seeing it creep up so quickly really was hard to handle. This time, however, I haven't gained much weight so far. Like I said, I'm 12 weeks pregnant now, and I think I've only gained about 1 kilo, whereas in comparison to with a Lula, I gained a lot more than that in the first trimester. But everybody is so different, and like I said, there are so many changes going on in your body. The weight is... it doesn't really matter. Some women do actually lose weight in their first trimester because of the morning sickness and how much they are throwing up and just not able to keep any food down. So if that is you and you're concerned about that, just raise it with your midwife, but try not to worry too much. As the morning sickness eases, you should find that you are able to eat a little bit more. Conversely, some women gain more weight than they thought they would, like I did. Could be just due to water, snacking more to help with the morning sickness, and reaching for more carbs, because the more carbs you eat, the more water your body retains. Tip number 11 is to book an early scan. If, like me, you experience a loss and are currently pregnant with a rainbow baby, you may have a lot of anxiety around this pregnancy. And I just always find it remarkable how we rely on a plastic stick to tell us that we are pregnant. We on a stick, it says we're pregnant, and well, if you're in the UK, you don't see a midwife until you're 8 weeks, and you don't get a scan necessarily until you're 12 weeks. And you, like, when you go to the midwife, they don't do a pregnancy test, well, they didn't for me anyway. They just take your word for it, and you almost kind of, like I say, you just trust this piece of plastic to tell you that you're pregnant, and you almost start like worrying and doubting yourself that what if it's wrong, and all of these things go through your head. So if you're someone like me that worries a lot and is very anxious, and investing in a private early scan can just put your mind at rest. It can really help. It can confirm the pregnancy, it can confirm that everything's okay, and it can just clear your mind a little bit until your 12-week scan. So I would definitely advise, if you are someone that is slightly anxious or an overthinker, a worrier like I am, then investing in an early scan could be a really good idea. Tip number 12 is to beware of any smells. Your sense of smell in pregnancy can become very sensitive, and heightened a lot, and certain smells could tip you over the edge. So it may be worth having a conversation with your partner or your housemates or your work colleagues that, you know, can you not bring in the egg mayonnaise sandwich, or can you not bring home stinky fish, please, just until I'm through the first trimester, because it really makes me want to vomit. I think just communicating things with people that are close to you can make quite a big difference too. Tip number 13 is to have something to look forward to. First trimester can be hard, really, really hard. You may have been waiting months or even years to get pregnant, and now it's here. You might be feeling really, really gross, and just mentally the first trimester can be really tough. There's so many things going on. Try to remember how badly you wanted this pregnancy, how long you waited for this pregnancy, what it means to you to be pregnant. Find something to focus on that can get you through. So having a 12-week scan or a private scan to look forward to is really, really good. If you're keeping it a secret until 12 weeks or more and you like really cute pregnancy announcements, then maybe look on Pinterest or get some ideas for some really cute ways that you can announce your pregnancy to your family and friends when the time comes. That for me is always something to look forward to. Tip 14, and my final tip, is to cut yourself some slack. Seriously, you are growing a human being from scratch. That is incredible. It's a miracle. The changes may not be visible on the outside just yet, but the hormonal changes are huge. If you are finding yourself more irritable and more short-tempered than usual, just try and remind yourself that that is not you. That is the hormones. Mood swings are very, very common, and it's something I've experienced a lot this time around with my second pregnancy. And they're not nice. They make you feel guilty. They make you feel like there's something wrong with you, but just try and remind yourself that it's not you and it will pass. It's just a very short season. Also, if you already have a child or children from previous pregnancies, it's okay not to be super mum right now. It's fine to let them watch a little bit extra TV. It's okay to do the minimum at the moment. Anything that you do in this short period of time is not going to cause any long-term damage to your children. If they're slightly older, then they will understand that mummy needs a little bit more rest. Just hold on for the second trimester, because that usually does bring a lot more energy and a lot of the symptoms do subside. So just hold on for the second trimester. Just do your best. That's all you can do, and it will pass. So that was my top tips for surviving the first trimester. I hope that they were helpful. I hope that maybe some of these you haven't heard before and they help you out in your first trimester. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a thumbs up. If anything helped you, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any of your own tips that I haven't included here, drop them in the comments as well, so any other expecting mums can read through the comments and maybe it'll help them too. Please do subscribe to my channel for future videos. I'm going to be sharing the whole of my pregnancy journey this time around and into the postnatal period as well. And I love connecting and meeting other mums on here. If you're due around the same time as me, I'd love to connect with you as well. So please do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one, guys. Say bye. Bye. Yeah. You waving? Good girl.